Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to introduce you to a very special rangefinder camera, and it's an alternative to a Leica. Today we're looking at the Zeiss Ikon. Hey guys, Matt here from Leica.com. As you know, I love my Leica rangefinder cameras, and in today's video we're going to look at a Leica M7 alternative. The reason I mention the Leica M7 specifically is because the M7 is slightly different to many of the other Leica M cameras in terms of it's more electronic. The camera we're looking at today is the Zeiss Ikon, and it offers many of the same benefits as a Leica M7. Coming up, I'm going to show you the Zeiss Ikon next to a Leica camera so you can see how they look side by side. And stay with me and I'll give you 9 reminders what not to forget if you start using the Zeiss Ikon camera. Let's get into the video. Okay, the Zeiss Ikon, aka the Leica M7 alternative. One of my patrons brought the camera to our London meetup, so I get to share it with you guys. The first thing you may notice is this is a Leica M mount camera, so you can use the same awesome Leica M mount lenses as you do on your M cameras as you can with the Zeiss Ikon camera. When looking at the Zeiss Ikon next to a Leica M camera, they are pretty similar in terms of dimensions, height, width and everything else, but the Zeiss Ikon is a bit squarer and also lighter. It's about 30% lighter if you prefer lighter cameras. Here you can see the top plates of both cameras. The main differences are the Leica has a flash sync of 50 compared to 1/125 and a maximum shutter of 1000 compared to 2000ths of a second. If you're familiar with Voigtlander better cameras, the Zeiss Ikon has some of the same similar features. As you can see, you've got the SLR style backdoor for quick film loading and the film preview window. The rewind crank is on the base of the camera, and you can see the battery compartment is also on the base of the camera. This takes 2 LR44 batteries. On the back of the camera, if you move the thumbs up grip that was added after, you can see it's got the auto exposure lock. And now if we compare a M3 to a Zeiss Ikon in terms of looking at the rangefinder windows, the Viewfinder rangefinder window is much bigger on a Zeiss Ikon compared to this much earlier like M3, which is smaller than a standard M3. But just look how big it is. It's just huge. It's like big and bright. When you look through the camera itself, you can see the different frame lines. So you've got single 35mm frame line, 50mm frame line, and then you've got the pair of 28 and 85 at the same time. This makes it big, clear and uncluttered and very enjoyable to look through. If we now compare this to an M3, perhaps my favourite, well definitely my favourite Leica M camera, I absolutely love the fat 50mm frame line at the edge of the frame, and then you've got the smaller 90mm and 135mm frame lines in the centre. All three are individual frame lines. You'll see 135 once you push the selector switch on the front. Now, unlike most Leica M cameras, the Zeiss Ikon does have an on-off switch. It's probably safer to leave it on when shooting so not to miss a shot. And in terms of the frame counter is very similar to an M3 frame counter. Looking again at the top of the camera, you can see the auto mode, which isn't on obviously most of the M cameras. And again, that big fat viewfinder and the film preview window. It's a very clean looking camera, maybe slightly more modern, but it also feels, because it's lighter, it feels maybe thinner metal, and so as such maybe slightly more fragile perhaps. And it's also got a shorter focus throw compared to a Leica M camera. On the front, you can see it's got the same frame selector switch, the black kind of lever, and the silver button is obviously your lens release button, and everything else is pretty similar. The base length is longer, as I say, than most Leica M cameras, but not longer than a Leica M3. This makes it probably mid-table in terms of accuracy, much more accurate than Voigtlander better cameras, more accurate than many Leica M cameras, but not the best of the best. I'll mention this at the end of the video. If you enjoy shooting with flash, you've got both a PC sync port and a hot shoe, so both options as needed. Now, in terms of price, these cameras are not cheap, so it's not a cheap alternative to a Leica. Prices, we had a quick look on eBay for Europe, and it's around €2,500, between 2.4 and 2.6 thousand euros upwards. These cameras are available in black and silver, and you probably will have to import them from Japan. Okay, so to recap, the Zeiss Ikon benefits compared to a Leica. You've got the faster maximum flash sync speed, faster maximum shutter speed, faster film loading, film preview window, the option of auto exposure, larger viewfinder with easier to see 20mm frame lines, more accurate EBL, and it's 30% lighter. Now, it's not all good news for the Zeiss Ikon. So compared to Leicas are better because they give you a 75mm frame line and 135mm frame line, and they also give you 90 instead of 85. They're a cloth shutter compared to the metal shutter of the Zeiss Ikon, which is slightly quieter. Most Leica cameras don't need batteries for most functions, and most Leicas feel more solid than the Zeiss Ikon. There's a whole list of things, but those are the main ones for me. Now, what about compared to Voigtlander Bessa cameras? I've owned 9 of the 12 Voigtlander Bessa cameras, and I will link a massive comparison video at the end of this so you can check that out. But in summary, the Zeiss Ikon is like halfway between a Leica M and a Bessa in terms of it's got many of the functions of a Voigtlander Bessa camera, but it's better built. It feels a bit more solid, although Voigtlander Bessa cameras vary depending on the model. And an important one for me, the Zeiss Ikon rangefinder is more accurate than the most accurate Voigtlander Bessa, which is the Voigtlander Bessa T. Okay, so what is the verdict? Will I be buying a Zeiss Ikon anytime soon? The Viewfinder is really nice, and I did enjoy the lighter weight. I quite like lightweight cameras. However, I'm really scared of fully electronic cameras, and so for that reason, I'm going to stick with my full mechanical Leica M3, Leica M4P, and the other cameras that I enjoy using. In this video I did mention that the Zeiss Ikon is more accurate than cameras like my Leica M4P. The measurement for rangefinder accuracy is EBL, or effective base length. To understand which are some of the most accurate rangefinder cameras, check out this video on effective base length next. And as always, a huge thanks to my awesome patrons. See you in the next video.